Hi, everyone. Today I am going to take you through creating a newsletter to send via an email campaign in Command. To start, we have logged into our Command account and we are going to select this megaphone that is the applet for campaigns. When we get into campaigns, we are at our campaigns dashboard. There's different things here for ideas that you can post, tips and training on creating campaigns. But today we are going to create campaign. And because we're doing an email newsletter, we're going to choose an email campaign. We're going to name our campaign. And then we're going to choose what our goal is, what we're looking to achieve by sending this campaign. If we have a new listing out, we can choose advertised listing. If we're trying to create brand awareness, we can choose brand awareness. If we have a client event coming up, event awareness is great for that. Today, we are just going to choose other. And then we will select command email. This is how our campaign will run. We don't need to use any outside programs. It's all going to go straight through command. So then on the next page, we are putting in all of our information, our campaign name pulled over, and then this is the email account that our campaign will send from, and our send to list. I have some lists already created, and if I just pick this list, I'm going to choose staff. It will send to everyone that I have already put on that list. You can create your own list based on how you have your database tagged, and you would do that here. The name that our campaign is going to come from is KW Greater Metropolitan Leadership. For you, it would be your actual name. And then the reply to email address, if anyone decides to reply to our newsletter, it will come to the email that we put here. You can edit this information. If you need to, but it should all just pull over automatically from your marketing profile. That should have your current and most accurate email address and obviously your name. And we want to put a subject line here. February's almost over. March newsletter. You do want to put something here that you think will prompt your clients to open it. You don't want it to be something spammy that they may just delete, but also keep it professional. And then for content, we're going to select design. We're just going to select monthly newsletter. And when we get in here, this is where we're going to actually create our newsletter. Anything that you see that has these asterisks around it, that information is going to auto-populate from your marketing profile. Again, I'm referring to the marketing profile. That's a very important piece. If you aren't sure where to find your marketing profile, how to edit it, shoot me an email or give me a call and we can walk through how you can also do that. Now, we want to create our newsletter. These blocks over here are called content blocks. We can just pick one and bring it in. Whoops. We can just pick one and you're going to click it and drag it in. When you see, I'm going to delete this because okay. So we're going to, I did not delete that. There we go. So we're going to click this, and bring it in. Now it says insert your text here. We obviously don't want to leave that way, so we're going to click the pencil to edit it. In here, we can make this say whatever we want. So March newsletter. And then we can highlight this and we can change the font. We can change the size. And we can change it, the orientation of what we've written here. We can make it bold, all of these things. We can change the color. So you can also link this if there was text in your newsletter that you wanted to be clickable. You would click this little hyperlink here and then put in the link that you want that to take you to and click save. For now, we're just going to hit done. And now we can see those nice purple letters. They are centered and they look great. Below, we have a photograph here. We can choose to edit this photograph. If we do that, we're going to click the pencil and then go to replace. And we can bring in, if there's images that we already have that we've already loaded in here, we can use those. If there is a listing that we have, we could use the images from that listing. So I'm going to select this random listing in California because warm weather would be great right now. So here is the entryway. And we are going to then, we've selected our image and we're going to click replace. And once we've replaced it and the new image shows here, we'll click done. And now that image is over here. Below we have more text. Same thing, if you wanted to edit this, you would click the pencil. You can modify this however you want. You can also make it so that your newsletter is more personalized to each person that you're sending it to. So how I did that, I just wrote happy spring and then I added their first name. Mine says agent first name because of the command account that I'm in, but yours would say client first name. And that would just say happy spring, Bob, or whoever you're sending it to, but it will be each individual person's first name. Again, with the changing the font and the size, my suggestion is if you start doing that, like make sure that you have consistency and that you don't have just like a bunch of random fonts and sizes and things. And the orientation, we're going to keep it centered. That looks great. And then our like filler text and information, you click the pencil, you can edit all of that here. Same things I've mentioned. Something that I think that is really neat are these clickable buttons. So for this button, we can edit the text here. I realize that just says the same thing. And then we can link it to, right now this is going to Facebook. When you do put a web address in here, you want the full URL. So the HTTPS, all of that. If you don't have that in here, then it will give you this little red message. The button must be linked to a valid URL. So just make sure you plug that back in there. You can change the width and height of this button. You can change the font. We'll just make it match what we've been going with. You can change the color of the button. And then this button is currently in the position, in the left position, but we can center it. And you can have a square button or you can have a rounded button. We'll go with a rounded button. And when we're done, it's always important that we click done so that we see those changes move over into our actual newsletter. More text, you can put in as much information in these as you want. However, it is relevant to what you are sending a newsletter for. This is just a header with some informative text below. There is another image. Say, for example, that we don't want to use another image. Like we have enough information, so we just want to get rid of that. We're just going to click that little trash can and it's going to take it right away. Something I do want to show you though, is now that I've taken that away, you see this box that kind of appeared, it says table cell. This is just a spacer. You can, oops, you can delete this if you want to bring your content a little tighter, make sure everything is aligned well. If you have them on the side, sometimes you'll see them like running vertically on the sides, either side. You want to delete those. It can throw off your alignment. And when you go into preview, you would see that there. Say you got rid of too many content blocks and now you're like, oh no, I wanted to put one more picture in. So we could come over here and we can click on this image content block and we can bring it right over here. Do you see that green line that we're getting? That's going to be where our image is going to drop. And sometimes this is really a little finicky. So you just want to be patient with it. We're just going to, again, pull from a random listing. I don't know, the bathroom, sure. And now that is in there. If we don't like it and we want to try again, then we can delete it. Or maybe actually, if we brought that, if we brought it in here and we had picked an image and decided that we wanted to change the image, then same thing that we did with the first one, we would go to edit, replace, and then choose what we did want. I'm just going to cancel this because we don't need to change it again. At the bottom, your footer is going to be here. All of this is auto-filled. And this is another button. This button is currently not linked to anything, but it does say download my app, which is a really great idea. You can have that link to a landing page, link to merge tag, or a web address. And then you can change all the things that I showed you on the last button, the size of the button, the shape, the font family, all of that. Again, any information that has these asterisks around it is going to be auto pulled from your marketing profile. When we think we're good and ready to be finished with our newsletter, we're going to go over here and click on the eyeball for preview. And this is going to show us our newsletter 3 different ways. So this is if someone was looking at it on the computer. Oh, and you can see this is where your client name would pull in. So it's pulling in KW Greater Metropolitan because that's how this account is named. But this is where your client name would actually pull in. If they're looking at it on a tablet, it would look like this. So not much different, a little tighter. And then if they're looking on mobile, it'll look like this. Things are a little smaller, a lot tighter, but everything's still there. So when we are finished previewing and we are content with what our work, we are going to click save and exit. And I don't want to send this right now because it's not March yet. I would like this to go on March 1st. So I have the option to send it now, or I can schedule it for March 1st at, I want this to go at 10 a.m. It's important that when you are doing this, you make sure that you pick the correct AM or PM. You certainly don't want to send just a newsletter email to your clients at 10 o'clock at night. We're going to click apply date and time. That's just going to confirm it and let us know that campaigns can be scheduled out 2 hours from now or 12 months from now. And we can go in and edit them still up to 2 hours. prior to them being the scheduled time to be sent. If it's after the 2 hours, then it's too late and your changes won't be sent. And we're going to click schedule. So that is scheduled to send to the staff on March 1st at 10 a.m. And then it will just, once it's been sent, we will be able to see how many were sent, how many of those newsletters were opened, how many people clicked on things within those newsletters. And it just reminds us here what our goal for this newsletter, or what our goal for this campaign was. And we chose other, that's why it says other. And that is how you create and send a newsletter campaign. If any of you have any questions about anything we went over today, you can always email me at frontdesk297@kw.com. I hope you find it helpful, and happy design creating.